Welcome to another edition of Interruptions. I'm your host, Otis Smith. Today, we got a treat for you guys. My guest today, you know him from songs like Jungle Boogie, Hollywood Swinging, Celebrate, Cherish the Love, Ladies Night, Get Down on It. I mean, he's got a huge catalog. If you don't know who I'm talking about, none other than the founder, the leader, Robert Kool Bell of Kool in the Gang. How you doing, sir?
What's up, Otis?
Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for blessing. I listen. I grew up listening to your music. I one time I thought I was in the group. I mean, we,
So what instrument did you play?
I played the air guitar. I wanted to I wanted to be you, man. I wanted to be you, man. So I thank you for all your contributions and everything that you and your bandmates have given to the music industry. Uh, my first question for you today is how did the band get started? How did it come about?
Well, we started back in 1964,
Uh-huh.
and at that time we called ourselves the Jazzy Acts.
Right.
And then the name was changed to the Soul Town Band because we were backing up an organization called the Soul Town Review.
Okay.
Now, Soul Town Review, they were trying to be like Motown. So
Okay.
we became the Soul Town Band. And
Okay.
then we had to learn all the Motown hits. You know, we used to back up about 20 people, man. We had
Okay.
to learn all those tracks. So we became the Soul Town Band. And then when we left that organization, we went with, well, actually, we had changed our name to Kool and the Flames.
Okay.
And that kind of happened because one of the MCs for the Soul Town Review had put this poster in the window at this club in Newark called the Blue Note Lounge.
Okay.
And he had Kool and the Flames.
Okay.
Put your ice cube and the flames melting out the ice. So we became Kool and the Flames. And then we met a guy by the name of Gene Reds, who became our first manager.
Okay.
And we realized that we couldn't use the name Flame because you had James
James
Brown,
Brown and yeah.
famous. And so we didn't want to have any problems with the Godfather. So we said, well, why don't we change the name to Gang?
Okay.
And that's when it started. That was back in 1968. We changed the name to Kool and the Gang. And our first record came out in 1969, Kool and the Gang, album Kool and the Gang, and group Kool and the Gang.
You guys have an interesting catalog, and what I mean by that is how your music evolved. You know, from when you guys first came out, more jazz, kind of a sound, and then you guys kind of R&B, and then the '80s, still R&B, but a little pop to it. You know, like you're one of the few bands who evolved. Like you guys kept evolving.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was from how we started in the 60s,
Uh huh.
the Jazzy Acts, okay?
Right.
And we were listening to, John Coltrane and Miles Davis and Freddie Hubbard and Ron Carter and all those guys. And then,
Okay.
of course, been backing up these groups from Soul Town.
Okay.
We created a mixture of our jazz and our R&B by, backing up these other acts. And then we finally came out with our own sound. It was a mixture, like you said, jazz, funk, and R&B, because we didn't have singers in the beginning. So it
Correct.
was more like instrumental tracks and chant songs like Funky Granny or Funky Man, stuff
Right.
like that. Yeah. as we came
And
out.
that's because one of my favorites, like I said before, you guys really started singing was the one that Will Smith sampled, the you know the summertime and you, but you know what that sounds like, and please let me know if that's y'all. That's almost sound like Ironside.
Ironside?
You remember the
Well,
theme song to Ironside?
yeah,
I
yeah, I know that. Yeah, but we actually, it was Summer Madness. You're talking about Summer Madness.
correct,
And then
correct,
Will Smith came up with Summertime.
right.
Maybe because, the synthesizer in the beginning.
Uh huh.
And my brother had got the 2600 ARP synthesizer. So that could have been a little,
Yeah,
could be a little outside in that.
I went through. I went my no no. I went through my life after I said. I wonder did Kool in the Game do Ironside. It wasn't like I thought you guys took it from my. I thought that because like you said that sound that synthesizer. I said maybe they did that too because earlier in you guys' career when you're coming out, you didn't have if you're not paying attention, looking on the album to see who did what, you don't know like it's highly publicized now far as who produced what, who wrote the back then if you're not paying attention looking at this. So it was just something I always thought. I wonder did they do that.
Yeah,
So
yeah. But that was my brother experimenting, with that ARP 2600 synthesizer when that came out.
beautiful.
And because Summer Madness was a part of a song called You Don't Have to Change.
Okay.
And the vamp of You Don't Have to Change, my brother realized that, hey, that sounds like another song. So he was in the studio one night till about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And she said, man, I got this great idea. I just did a solo over the vamp
Okay.
of You Don't Have to Change. And I said, well, what are we going to call it? Ah, shit, let's call it Summer Madness, man. He came up with a lot of different crazy titles, So, but Summer Madness, of course, Will Smith got a big hit with Summertime. But we had titles like Chocolate Butterbell, Raw Hamburgers, uh, Funky Granny, and one of the most sampled
Uh-huh.
songs, and they sampled the drums on, was a song called NT.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
how did we come up with NT?
Mhm.
Because we didn't have a title. So, what we gonna call it? NT, no title.
Auntie.
But the drums on NT
Mhm.
sampled, a lot of rappers have sampled that drum sound on NT.
Yeah, sampled Hollywood swinging. The
But Hollywood Swinging, you got Tribe Called Quest, and a lot of other acts been taking little bits and pieces, a little bit of from Madonna song, from a Janet Jackson song. So besides James Brown, that's
oh yeah,
those
you
days.
guys was oh yeah, you guys and James, yeah, yeah, you guys was sampled a lot. Matter of fact, you James Brown, and then later on they started sampling a lot of the Barges music and recycling it. So, but that speaks to you guys' greatness because you guys weren't sampling; you was creating from scratch. You know,
Absolutely.
I mean, and don't get me wrong, I'm not. I like rap. I'm also came along in the rap era because I was born in '71. But one of the things I noticed with groups that preceded my birth, as far as Kool in the Gang, a couple of years before I was born, Earth, Wind, and Fire, all you guys created something out of nothing. And then it lives on because that next generation of rappers and hip hops wanted to sample that music. And man, that's a great testimony to what you guys have done because what you guys done was the original sound.
Yeah, well, we're thankful for that. We also was involved with a group called the Last Poets.
Mm-hmm.
The Hustler Convention uh, album. Four of
Okay.
those tracks on that Hustler Convention album is
Okay.
instrumental tracks that we did. And that was for the Last Poets. They were one of the first groups who started rapping. Their rapping was more, on a positive level,
Okay,
but yeah,
more conscious rap.
conscious rap. That's the way I, yeah.
My next question is, what was the vibe? Because I was just a little kid. So what was, by you being a grown man at that time, coming into your own, you got this, you and your brother got this band y'all put together and everything. What was the vibe like in the '70s, far as creativity and just that decade? What was the vibe like?
Well, I mean, for us, like I said, it's kind of coming out of the '60s into the '70s, and you had, of course, James Brown, and
Hmm.
then you had the R&B groups, the '70s, like the Delphonics,
Hmm.
Tudors, and those type of groups. When you had groups like War, of
Yeah.
course, Earth and Fire, you know, P-Funk, with
Parliament.
Funkadelic, So that was the vibe, man. Everybody was doing their thing, but everybody had their own style and
Right.
sound. If you heard Kool in the Gang, you knew that that was Kool
It's
in the
cool in the
Gang.
game.
You heard the Ohio Players, or if you heard, Earth, Wind and Fire or P-Funk, you knew that that was their style.
That's
Not taking
and
anything away from today. Yeah.
no, I was going to say that's the interesting part about what you just said, because it seems like even though you can have like a friendly competition, as far as chart topping, nobody was trying to sound like the next group. It was, if, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe it was more of, hey man, we got to put a, we got to come up with something. But like you said, you knew it was cool in the game, or you knew it was whatever group, but no one sound like anyone. It could be a friendly competition without trying to take someone else's sound.
Right. That's what it was back in the '70s. There'd be a group and band had their own style. It all kind of worked, make it through the '70s. Yeah.
How well, you talked about, well, how did it feel to, to be in the Songwriters Hall of Fame?
Oh, that was a great feeling. Because of course we have won other awards, American Music Award,
Hmm.
a couple of Grammys, but the Songwriters Hall of Fame is it's your peers
Right.
and your peers that are writing songs. So that level was a great level for us. We have been waiting for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
We need the
One
campaign. We
day
need we
we'll
need the
get it.
campaign for that. We got the campaign for that. That's a
Yeah,
shame, man. That
yeah,
that don't make no sense.
yeah. Well, maybe next year. Right now we just trying to survive this year.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right.
Corona, I call it the Corona blues.
The
You know. Yeah, but maybe 2021 they'll come around. But it's all good, man. I mean, we're very happy about whatever recognition and awards we get. I mean, after being in this business for 50 years,
right.
it's not easy. It's an up and down business, man. And
Sure.
we have been blessed, and we're all, always thanking our fans for supporting us for so many years, and we're still here, and we're still moving on.
Well, we thank you for you guys' originality. Like I said, what you bring to the table, and when you're not a gifted musician, as far as like you're not into music like myself, or some of your fans, it we always sit back and it's like, man, how did they come up with that? How did they do? Because like Hollywood swinging, that horn introduction, man,
Uh,
that. But let me ask you this. This just a sidebar question. I didn't even have this written down, but I got to ask you. So when you're touring, right, and record sales, right, do you
mhm.
ever look around and you guys height look around and say, man, there's too many dudes in the group, man, to check. this, we got to cut 2 minutes of this. You know what? We need to vote somebody out. Huh?
Come up sometime, but again, we have to be true to our sound.
Right.
You know, we started off with 7 pieces, actually, and we added guitars at 8, and then we expanded up to 10.
Sure.
And you know, that's what we are. I mean, it's hard to kind of cut the band. You know, that's what we're all about.
Oh no, I was just kidding.
That question is there. Yeah, wow, I pay a whole lot of people this week. Especially right now. We done lost over 40 gigs, and we're not going to be working probably until next year. The people got to eat.
People got to eat, man. People, hey, they do call it show business.
That's what it's all about. But, we're thankful. We always try to find a way. We're thankful.
You guys had another big thing that was going on in the 80s. I don't know if a lot of people recognize. At one point, every Super Bowl champion, when they played the parade, everybody was playing Celebration, you know, and that was a real big thing in the 80s. Every Super Bowl, like, you got to queue up Kool in the game. How was that? How was that feeling like?
Oh, that's a great feeling to have a song that came out in 1980 and continued to be popular for so many years. This year it's a 40-year celebration of Celebration.
Right.
If you know, the other night when Biden came on for his nomination, what did they play? Celebration.
and so, how does that make you feel? Like, especially like, you know, when you in the lab and you know you guys are creating, right? You don't never know how long a song will last or what song will last.
No, I tell you, yeah, you're right. Yeah, so Celebration kind of came after Ladies' Night.
Oh, that's my jam.
James J.T. Taylor joined the band, and
right,
we were looking to change up a little bit, coming out of the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And flew out on tour, went to Jackson 5, and the late Dick Griffey came to us and said, "Listen, man, you know, you guys are doing great on the tour. I think you need a lead singer." So we said, "Lead singer." We thought about it. We said, "Well, you might be right, because a lot of our music you can sing with. We didn't have a lead singer, and then at the time we had Lionel Richie, the Commodores,
right."
And Maurice White and Philip Bailey, everyone. He said, "Well, if we're gonna make a change, this is the time to do it."
Okay.
That's when we came up with a lead singer, J.T. Taylor, and my wife and I was hanging out in New York, and every weekend it was Ladies' Night. You know, Regimes and Studio 54.
Oh, wow.
That's a great idea. Let's make the first song with a lead singer that no one really heard Kool in the Gang with a lead singer. And, and we came up with Ladies' Night. And Frankie Crocker, the late Frankie Crocker in New York, broke that record in New York.
Okay.
So we won 2 American Music Awards. We was out in LA. And for Ladies' Night. So my brother came up with this idea. He said, "Hey, you know, in Ladies' Night, it had a line in there, this is your night tonight. Come on, let's all celebrate. Let's write a song about celebration, because we just won, and it's time to celebrate." Now, of course, we didn't know that Celebration, I mean, Ladies' Night was huge. We didn't know that Celebration was going to turn around and become the record that it has become. And you can't redo it. Yeah, well, let's go back and do another Celebration. No, can't do that. So, but Celebration, man, is.
Yeah, but then you touched on Ladies' Night, because that was sampled. But and what's so funny? I'm a guy, and I'm gonna tell you why I love that song. And it was the part you just sung, that bridge. When you guys got to the bridge, and that tune changed. This is your night tonight. Everything's gonna be. I was like, that's when you hit the dance floor. Like, that's when you really gonna like. All right, I'm
Get
finna
into
wear.
it.
I'm finna get it. Yeah, man, that you ain't got to be a lady to enjoy that one. That was that's classic, man.
Well, like I said, then Celebration came and topped that. But we had a lot of hits also in the 70s. When you look at Hollywood Swinging,
Yeah,
Jungle Boogie, Funky
Jungle
Stuff,
Boogie. Yeah,
Summer Madness,
yeah,
Open Sesame,
yeah.
all that was in the 70s. But then when the 80s came, JT brought a lot to the band, and we were writing more songs because now you're talking about Celebration, Get Down on It, Fresh, Misled, Cherish the Love, Reggae Dancing, Take My Heart. It goes on and on, man.
What was it? What was the other one? Was it Rosanna? That
Joanna, that's another one.
Joanna. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. What I love, like some groups couldn't go from decade to decade, because sounds change, styles change, but you guys would, like you said, you added JT, and then it wasn't like you added JT and you got some hits. It's like you had more classics, just like you had in the '70s, and that's a testament to you guys' craft. That is, I mean, that was amazing.
yeah, definitely. To transcend from the 70s into the 80s. And one thing about our career,
Hmm.
every 10 years, I noticed that you said from decade to decade.
Right.
Every 10 years, it was a change in terms of 10 years. And people look at, oh, the guy's still out there? You still working? Yeah. Well, what y'all gonna do now? you know, we came through the 70s, and at the end of the 70s, they were saying that disco sucked. It was anti-disco, burning
Yeah.
records in Chicago. Yeah, disco. So what y'all gonna do now? I said, well, we knew that we're not just disco.
Right.
we're a band. We do music. And then of course, with JT, we grew with a lot of big hits. And then JT left at
Right.
the end of 1987, 88. People are like, oh, what you gonna do now? So we said, well, we're gonna continue to keep moving. And we went on and started building Europe. We went to Africa,
Okay.
Asia. We
Okay.
were one of the first groups to play behind the wall in Berlin. We played all through
Wow.
Russia. We just
Wow.
started traveling, you know, and we built. That's how we built ourselves all through the 90s. And then, of course, in the 2000s came in the 21st century, we had established ourselves. I mean, just 5 years ago,
Okay.
we did 48 shows with
Woo.
Van Halen. We did 10 shows with Kid Rock.
Wow.
We played with the Dave Matthews Band.
Okay.
We played with Rod Stewart, Elton John. I
Wow.
mean, and then we'd turn around and do a jazz festival, you
Because you
know,
got the background to do
with a
it.
George Benson or somebody, you know what I mean? So, it's been a blessing, man. So that's
Let me
yeah.
ask you. Let me ask you this. Do you think one of the, and this is just my opinion, but I want to get someone that is a musician, just get your thoughts. As much as I like rap and much as I like hip hop, it seems that because we don't have enough Cool in the Game bands, Earth, Wind, and Fire, it seems like creativity is suffering a bit because it's like I can just sample that. Let me get the clearance, and I can just sample it. Do you find that without actual bands, that music has lost a lot of creativity?
Well, yeah, well, to some degree, yeah, because
Mm,
it's easy to sample and
right.
put something around it. But that's where the industry moved, with hip hop and rap groups, I mean, there are some groups that still trying to hold it together. I mean, you have like Mint Condition, and
Oh yeah, I
you have
love them.
other groups, you have, there's bands that we see traveling around the world,
Okay.
looking in these clubs like in Japan
Mhm.
or in Singapore. major. You see these bands, they kind of getting the thing on, you know. So, you know, it depends, man. You know.
It's a yeah. Like I said, it wasn't like I said because I like rap, so I'm not being critical. I'm just growing up in that time and being able, just like yourself, to see the start of hip hop, which was a beautiful thing too. I just sometimes see that when I don't like we like when I interviewed Najee and he was talking about the music is music, and what's so funny is I find that refreshing from actual musicians that play. Like you guys look at music, that's what it is, music. It might be a different form of music, a different genre of music, right? But it's
Mm.
music. Whereas with rap, with hip hop, it's like, okay, hip hop, we're over here, right? And the other groups are over there. But musicians that play, like yourself, look at music as music is music. It just depends on what type or what genre of music it is.
Right, it's all about the music, you know. One group forgot to mention was Bruno Mars.
Oh yeah,
He
I
had
like Bruno.
that energy of the 70s and 70 bands, be it Kool and the Gang or Ohio Players or a little bit of the Gap Band, what have you, you know.
Yeah,
But, you know, yeah, music is music. Yeah, it's like the music of the 60s, the music of the 70s. It's all about the music.
I knew you was the guy. It was this moment for me, and I said, "Who is that?" You guys were on Soul Train. I don't know what song you did. It was in the '80s. You guys were on Soul Train, right? And that's you had the mustache came on down a little bit further, right? So Don walks over and asks everybody to introduce themselves like they normally do. And he looked at you and he was like, "My man, Kool, Kool." And I said, "All right, who is that?" Because you get spoiled, right? Looking at the lead singer, and you think the lead singer is
Yeah.
that's the man. And Don made sure he made a point when he looked at you. He's like, "Kool, yeah." And I said, "All right, wait a minute, he's Kool. The band name is Kool in the band. All right, who is that? Who is that guy?" And I said, okay. And for the rest of us, the fans, we were kind of always, you're playing, everybody in the group is doing their thing, right? To make, to bring the success of the band. But it was
Right.
always looked at you like, nah, that's the dude right there. It's just the way you carried yourself. It's nothing that you did out of the ordinary. It was just you being you, just so
Yeah, well, I mean, that happens. You know, like you said, most times everybody zero in on the lead singer, which is obvious because that's who's
right,
leading stuff.
right,
You know, and usually the bass player's back there in the back,
right,
keeping the groove together.
right,
You know, it's the drummer and the bass player is the one got to keep the foundation of the house.
correct, right.
You got to have a solid drummer, a solid
Mm-hmm.
bass player, and then come the keyboards and the strings and the other parts that you laid out
Sure.
in the house. So and sometimes uh, the guys in the back, the back room, some people listen all the time, but you feel it funk though.
Yeah, oh, most definitely, most definitely.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. How did it come about with your own brand of champagne? I saw that. I said, oh. So talk about that. How did that come about?
Well, I started back in Europe. Um, we tour a lot in Europe, especially in France. And one of the promoters came to me and said, "Listen, I'm doing a champagne with Barry White."
Okay.
And late Barry White at the time, but Barry had
Hmm.
passed.
Okay.
And I also one with one of the members of the Bee Gees.
Okay.
And he asked me, "Well, how do you like to do champagne?" I said, "Well, I don't want to um, try to sell champagne at concerts and all that, because that's what the concept was."
Right.
I said, because somebody come to a concert, they come, after the show, they probably want a T-shirt, or a cap, you
Right.
know. They're not gonna be looking for no champagne. I said, well, what I am interested in is retail.
Okay.
And I said, I came up with this name called Kool Champagne. And I
Okay.
wanted to have that French flair to it, that French flavor,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted it to become a name in France first,
Okay.
and then come to America.
Okay.
And like the Dom Perignon or the Cristal or the Moet,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the whole concept. And that's what starting to happen. I mean, things are slowed up because of the pandemic and
Mm-hmm.
the coronavirus thing. But we're pushing, into next year because I mean, let's look at it. Whenever there's a celebration of some sort, what are they drinking?
Champagne.
But they're drinking Dom Perignon and Cristal. What about some Le Cool champagne? And then you can
Gotcha.
really celebrate a good
Right.
time. And come on. So there it is. Cool champagne.
What can we what can what like if someone wanted to order it, where can we find it, or can we go online and order it, or
Yeah, well, you can go online, lecoolchampagne.com.
okay.
But also, right now, we have distribution in state of New Jersey,
Okay.
New York,
Okay.
California,
Okay.
and we're working on Florida. But we're also looking to come to Georgia.
Well, please do.
The
Please do.
ATL. Oh
Please
yeah,
go
we
to
got
the
to get that
ATL.
cool champagne in Georgia, man. So next year, we definitely looking to do that.
Well, I got one final question for you, and that is what has always and what still inspires you?
Well, um, that energy to continue to move on, to continue to face whatever, things that you're faced with in business. And like we started kind of like out of Youngstown, Ohio, my brother and I, and it was a slight struggle, coming
Sure.
out of Ohio.
Mhm.
And when we came to Jersey in 1960,
Mhm.
and we met the other guys in 1964, we created the Jazzy Acts. So
Right.
every year was a struggle. Now we also have a vignette, animated uh, cartoon.
I saw that on the website.
Yeah, and it gives you a little bit of. I can't tell the whole story right now, but
Sure.
you get the vignette, and you'll see, where we started and where we ending up at. We still got some more episodes to do,
Sure.
but you have to work hard. The whole thing is never give up, never give
Okay.
up, and that's something that we always have done. Never given up, even when things were up and down.
Sure.
All due respect to my brother JT. I mean, when he left the band, we figured,
Mhm.
well, it's over. Lead singer's gone. It's over. No, we just kept pushing
Kept
and
pushing.
pushing and pushing, and we're still here today.
Well,
And
I would love to meet you whenever come to Atlanta or whatever. Whatever the new norm would be. I
will
would
be
love to come meet you and shake your hand, meet you face to face, you and your brother. You guys have inspired me even as a little kid, and then you know coming into my teenage years and on and so forth. I've always loved your music, and I thank you for the opportunity and the interview. And just you've always been a class act, always been a man, classic man. So I appreciate that about
thank
you,
you.
just being yourself. So thank you for coming on Interruption. Please stay safe, stay blessed. I would like to have you on the show again. Maybe we could do something. I interviewed Paul Anthony from Full Force
Uh,
last night, and I would love
okay.
to do something where maybe we could have like him or Bowlegged Lou or somebody, and have you and your brother on or something like that, and just discuss the music industry,
Yeah.
and all that.
All right. Well, we can possibly do something in the future, but thanks for
Yeah,
having me. And stay safe.
Use it. Stay safe and stay blessed.
Thank you.
Peace.
Peace.